Good morning, students. Today we'll start with a new topic, evaporation. So evaporation, the common phenomenon which is used for drying our clothes or for different applications that are routinely used. Most common application is to dry our clothes. So due to evaporation, the water content present in the clothes get converted into vapor form. If you take example of a beaker which contains water, here the water amount decreases as most of the water gets converted into vapor form. The particles which are present inside the water will evaporate and convert into vapor form. This will decrease the amount of water, and similarly the amount of water is decreased in clothes, and hence we can dry our clothes. Okay, so now we'll understand how the evaporation of water can actually be possible without increasing the temperature at 100 degrees Celsius, because the boiling point of water is 100 degrees Celsius. Here the particles will evaporate. The particles will evaporate due to some factors. Wherever the particles are present in the water will evaporate due to some factors, which we'll learn one by one. Evaporation, it depends on the following factors. So we can say that the rate of evaporation increases with increasing surface area. When surface area increases, the rate of evaporation increases. To understand this phenomena, we'll just take an example of one beaker containing water which has more surface area, which has less surface area, and another beaker has more surface area. So what happens? The particles present in beaker A having less surface area will be having less space to evaporate, whereas the particles present in the beaker with more surface area will be having more space to evaporate. As the space to evaporate is more in the beaker having more surface area, the rate of evaporation increases in beaker B. So as we increase the surface area, the rate of evaporation increases. The second factor is increasing temperature. So rate of evaporation increases with increasing temperature. Take a beaker A and beaker B. In one of the beaker will increase the temperature and measure with thermometer. In beaker B, you can see the temperature is rising. The particles in the beaker A, which is boiling with less temperature, will not evaporate faster as compared to particles which are present in beaker B. As we are increasing the temperature, the particles will excite and evaporate faster. So here the particles will evaporate due to increasing temperature. As when we increase the temperature, the particles movement will increase, and as it leads to increase in movement, the particles will evaporate. So the rate of evaporation increases with increasing temperature. The third factor is decrease in humidity. Humidity is the presence of water vapor in the atmosphere. So whenever the humidity decreases, the rate of evaporation increases. We'll take the example of two beakers. In one of the beaker A, there is more humidity, so the particles of water vapor are more in beaker A, and the particles in beaker B has less humidity, so the particles in the vapor state in beaker B will be less. In beaker B, the humidity is less, so the particles present in the vapor state are very less, and hence the particles which are present in liquid will get space to evaporate, and so we can say that decrease in humidity can increase the evaporation. And the fourth factor is increase in wind speed. Again we'll take the two examples. In beaker A there is no wind, and whereas in beaker B there is more wind. The particles in the beaker A where no wind is present will accumulate at a particular region and will not get more space to evaporate. Whereas in beaker B the particles will move due to increase in wind speed. So as the wind speed increases, the humidity decreases, and beaker A is having more humidity and beaker B is having less humidity. So whenever the wind speed is increased, the rate of evaporation increases. So rate of evaporation depends on surface area, temperature, humidity and wind speed. Thank you.